Welcome back, everybody. We are making our way through the shield tower to disable the shield network set up by Xdeath so that we can invade his castle. Because he's a von Poopenstein. I was going to say a poopy doody head, but, you know, I have a baby. I can get away with either. So I hope people have had a good week. I apologize for things getting in a little late, but obviously it's been a busy week because I actually have started up game reviews, and so I had to bust my way through a campaign, and it took a little bit longer than I thought it would, and that's just because, well, being a parent is hard work. So I hope people have had a good week. I actually am looking forward to what I have to present to you guys, which is going to be a game review of StarCraft II Legacy of the Void. So I'm going to start there. There is another game that came out on November 10th, and yes, it will be getting reviewed. That is actually next on the list. We'll mix that in with Battlefront, because a lot of people have been asking on Drak and Shadow that we get Alex's reactions to Star Wars Battlefront, the DICE venture. So, anyway, you guys have that to look forward to. But yeah, we are making our way through Final Fantasy V, and welcome back. If you guys are brand spanking new, well, thank you for giving me the time. And yeah, feel free to go check out my other videos. I am also happy to say that last weekend was really, really good in the fact that we had BlizzCon happen, and I got to enjoy a lot of good announcements. I also got to enjoy the live stream with a bunch of really good people and have some good moments. And I also was able to get up my final thoughts on all of the announcements that were made at BlizzCon, or at least a good 80% of them. There were a couple of announcements, both post-BlizzCon and during, that I was not able to get, preferably in the Warcraft department, but... and also the StarCraft multiplayer, I wasn't able to get that, but I'm fairly happy with what I was able to get done this week. I also know that I promised that I was going to try and get to the League of Explorers this week, and I hate to give this update. I was not able to. I will try and get to it next week, but it just depends on time. Because all my live streaming days are now busy with other things, so I need to actually work out another live stream day. So I will keep you guys posted as that goes along. And now we are at the top of the shield tower, and just like usual with random encounters, that's when we get attacked. Because that's my luck. There we go. Ziza, we're on the top floor, baby. Roger. I can't remember my Ziza voice. I think it's British. Wow, that's a lot of engines. Oh, good. There's just an off button. Stand by to blow it. It, now. I don't know what I was doing. Ziza got caught in a loop. Alright, there is no longer power coursing through this shield tower, but the sky went dark. You'll never leave here alive. And of course, it's boss time. And this is actually a unique boss that actually becomes later a summon, and that is Atomos. So this is a unique boss in the fact that if you die... Oh. Alright, we're back. So, wow, I paused midway. So this is actually a really cool boss in the fact that if you die, it is a gateway to the void. So, the longer a character stays dead, they will slowly be pulled towards Atomos. And if they make their way through, you can't resurrect them anymore. And he will just pelt you the entire fight. So this is going to be kind of a long struggle, and I apologize. So people can actually see Galef's body getting slowly dragged to him, and you will stay there until the fight's over. Wherever you're at in the whole, well, sucking process, I guess, is the best word that I can find for it. So while we're making our way through Atomos, this is usually the time when I would make some updates, and I've made a ton of updates, obviously. you guys have a lot of things to look forward to on the channel. I'm looking forward to bringing back live streaming, but it will be strictly PC, mainly Steam and Blizzard content. So to the non-Blizzards, or the non-Blizzards, that's what we're calling them now. To the non-Blizzard fans, there will be something for you. We just need to get there. Because right now PC is the best way for me to do live streaming. It's got the proper speed that I need. But don't worry, console fans, we will get back to you. We will find a way to make that work. And I apologize if I'm coughing a lot. It's actually been a pretty active day for some voiceover work, so that's part of the busyness. But this is probably the time to start going into some updates that I have over the last couple of weeks of games that I've been able to play. And I probably should just get into StarCraft 2. So I'm not going to go into like full details of the review because, well, there's a review coming out. But I have played all of the campaign. I haven't really delved into multiplayer. It's not my thing. If I play multiplayer, it's with friends. So I played the prologue that came out just before, and I've already talked about that. I have played the campaign, and I've made my way through the epilogue campaign to try kind of bridge everything together into an ending for StarCraft 2. Technically, years ago, the epilogue campaign would have been its own expansion. But they decided to go this route, and I can't say I blame them. It took less time, but it covers a lot of ground. So I'm thankful that they at least did it. And obviously with the announcement of mission packs, I already know that there's a lot of loose ends in what I've seen. So it'll be interesting to see them tackle those later on. But without giving like a final score or anything like that, I really don't want to give anything because the review is going to cover a lot of that. So well, I think there's actually one thing that I can probably go into, and I'll go into it in the review, but some people have actually asked. So one of the other things I'm going to tackle in the review is this game is separate from the other three, or the other two. And does it stand on its own? I hate to get on Blizzard's case on this one, but no, it doesn't. Because there are characters that if you have not been invested in StarCraft 2, you are not going to get who they are. You're not going to get who they're about and why they are connected to the story. Legacy of the Void is supposed to be centered around the Protoss race, and there's a lot of appearances from previous characters like Jim Raynor, Sarah Kerrigan, and a couple of others. So I'm not saying that you can't enjoy it, but can you understand what's going on without playing the other two games? I would dare make an argument saying no, you can't. Because some loose ends are not going to make a whole lot of sense. So with that, I'll get more into detail when the review is actually posted. And so you guys will also get kind of a first-hand glance into this. I'm tempted to put up a second video where I can actually talk about spoilers, because I really do want to leave the review as open as possible, just to review the game as a game. But I also do want to get into the intricacies of the story and what it tried to do and what it succeeded at and what it failed at. And so I might actually do a second video, basically with a big spoilers tag, saying, this is my thoughts on the ending of StarCraft 2 and where it left the StarCraft universe as a whole. Stuff like that. So you guys can look forward to that also, because I'd really like to be able to do that. But that's not the only other game that I have played in the last couple of weeks. I was not able to give updates on these, but I also got back into Infamous 2. And Infamous 2, I'm liking somewhat where the direction of it is going. So I got to meet what I like to affectionately call Nuquo. And Nuquo is basically what's the term that I don't think they actually have a term for for the blast, like the mutants affected by it. I almost want to go down the static shock route and go bang babies. But yeah, we got to meet Quo, and yes, she has... I kind of speculated on this in a previous part, but yes, she has ice powers, and they are cool, and I actually like doing a bunch of the team-up abilities with her. But I also was very interested in the fact that afterwards, we got a major choice in the campaign on who to side with. So you actually had to pick between a plan. You were going to invade Bertrand's compound to get some stuff back. Oh, and we'll get to that in a second, because now we have more story. Did it! Ziza, can you hear me? We did it, baby! We blew it up! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'll never make it back! Galef, it's getting dangerous here! Hurry and escape! The energy is reversing, and it will explode! It will be glorious! Good news, everyone! We'll ride the dragon out, come on! Hang on, Ziza, I'm on my way! Baby. No! Wait at the sub! I'll meet you there later! No way! You're not dying here! Oh no. Galef, no! It's too dangerous! But... baby! Alright, I've run this into the ground. Reyna, you and the others go first. Alright, so Reyna and Faris are going to get on the dragon. Yay! You knew all along this was going to happen, baby. You want to sacrifice yourself. Wait in the sub. I'll be there. I promise. Over and out. Ziza, baby! Yes, I knew. But I couldn't let you all go. 4 new warriors will have to beat Exdeath. With the power of the crystals. Galef and Bartz, Reyna, Faris, do your best. I'm counting on you. Don't worry. I'll always be with you when you need me. Aw, that's kind of a touching farewell. And he's going to go boom! No! No, he's going boom! Wow, I am really starting to talk like a baby. Ziza, baby! I am running that joke in the ground. I don't care. I hate to do this, but... smack! Whoa! And now he's going to pick him up. There will be no jumping here. You're falling. Boom! But... let's go to the sub, baby. Galef, I'm sure Ziza will... Our last promise. Please keep it. So this is actually kind of a sad moment. Not kind of, it is. You know, Ziza has given us a road into Exdeath's castle, but at the cost of, well, what looks like his life. And now the dark barrier recedes. And now we can go into Exdeath's cathedral, because that doesn't look like a castle. In fact, I'm sure it's a giant pipe organ that he plays. Because Exdeath is that kind of villain. Come on, Galef. Nothing could have survived that blast. Just a bit longer. Okay, so this is actually going to be a segment, or a part of the story where I really wish I could skip, but plot has to play its way through. And, well, Galef is a stubborn one. But it's relatable, you know. We haven't known Ziza that long, but it's presumed that Galef knows him, and Galef fought beside him. And so Ziza has had to make, presumably, the ultimate sacrifice. And Galef has to feel the weight of that. It's kind of a beautiful way to do that, because he's kind of our connection to the previous Dawn Warriors. They'll use another word for it, but, you know, his Dawn Warriors are slowly dying off. Drogon isn't anywhere, Kelga is injured, and Ziza just died. So it's really kind of showing a feeling of the fractured old almost embracing the new and saying, well, they're the only ones that can solve the situation, not us. So it's a touching moment. And I'll at least give this game that. While we're doing that, though, so the decision that I was talking about with Infamous is you have to invade Bertrand's compound. I think it was to get prisoners out. And so you have a choice with that. And you have a choice between Quo's plan, which is to basically take the local rebels and side with them and offer to let them have any medical supplies that you can gather while you're raiding his base. And Nyx then offers a plan to say, you know, basically suicide bomb the entrance and take out as many as you can. And Nyx isn't really caring about prisoners or anything like that. So you actually have to choose between Quo and Nyx whose plan you're going to go with. And to the people who thought I might actually go down the Nyx path, I don't like Nyx. Nyx is the evil, obviously evil for evil's sake choice. I went with Quo and did things the right way, because that's the way I do it. I like being the hero. I don't like the whole line of you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And so I did that. But the other funny part about that is, with that, I also got a merged power. Oh, and we actually did have some moment happen. So this is basically Galef having to embrace that, well, Ziza's gone. This sub might fare as passage to Gil's cave. And apparently I can talk. Yes, you're right. How was he? He'll be alright with a little rest. Good. Alright, let's get back. So now we can actually take control of Ziza's sub, which gives a whole other avenue here. Oh, and we have a moment with Galef. Oh, he's just sad. No. Well, that's not cool. So yes, now we have access to Galef's sub, and this allows for underwater exploration as well. So we can actually have airships, we can have submarines, all of that. This will also be helpful for secrets that we are able to find. In fact, we are on our way right now to get a secret. I can't remember off the top of my head which one it is, but we'll be good. So I did appreciate the mission. I also appreciated that I was able to get kind of a merged power from it. So not only do I have electric powers, but because of the blast and working with Quo, I can now integrate ice powers into my arsenal. And that was pretty dang cool as far as I was concerned. Oh no, we're not on our way to a secret. We are on our way to further plot development. And this is actually a way into Gil's cave, since Gil's cave is now underwater. Appropriately enough. This is how we found a way to get underwater. So I like that, and I like what's going on in the story thus far. But obviously I would have to go down the good route because I'm a goody two-shoes, and it's just the way it goes. And I also love the fact that I have ice powers that increase my defense, and that's usually kind of my biggest problem in Infamous, is that I don't have enough defense. With that, let's see. There was one other game I was able to get into, which is Lego City Undercover, and I only was able to do a couple more cases. Basically just further unlocking the story, trying to help kind of ease people into the plot of Chase McCain has to go get Rex Fury. And I love the plots they tried to do, including the fact that I had to go to a prison island to go talk with, I think his name was Freeman, and he had that Morgan Freeman voice. And they even made a joke about it. It's like, are you Freeman? No, I'm not Freeman. His lawyers can't find out. I love the jokes and all of the subtle hinting at all the not the subtle hinting, but all the references that they're trying to do. So Morgan Freeman was awesome, and I love the detectives that I've met so far. Where one of them is like Dirty Harry, one of them's like Columbo, one of them's Sherlock Holmes. But I'm loving a lot of the jokes that are coming out of it, and I also love the idea that in order to advance, I was kind of wondering how they were going to do this. You can take on different costumes, and that helps you further the plot. So with this prison island, I got the criminal costume, the robber costume, and that allowed me a crowbar so that I could sneak further into the prison, into the warden's office, who apparently was working with Rex Fury, but, you know, it's a dirty city with dirty cops. I guess I shouldn't be surprised at this. So I'm loving it. It's still hilarious to me, but unfortunately, I'm not that far into the story. And because of Legacy of the Void, I haven't been able to get any further into it. So hopefully I'll have a better report next week. But what might actually have to happen is my better report will have to come the following week, which will be Thanksgiving. And therefore, I can actually take some time off. And I'll be happy about that. And now, this is actually a unique puzzle in Gil's Cave where you have to use this heavy stone, and put it into chests to unlock various doors. And if you don't unlock the right ones, then you can't move forward in the cave. But obviously, other doors lead to treasures. So I'm having to experiment a little bit. I will admit, when I first encountered this puzzle, I was a little disappointed. Mainly because there wasn't more to it. But I'm not in that camp anymore. I appreciate this puzzle for what it tried to do at the time. Granted, it only did it for Japanese players, not for American players, but can't really do much about that, I'm afraid. That's actually one of those things that I've gotten questions about. You know, what do you think of the renumbering of Final Fantasy games? It's a little disappointing that Japan didn't think games like Final Fantasy 2 and 3 wouldn't have done well here. I think they would have done just as well as Final Fantasy 1 did. I mean, 4 did really well here, I think, and it was relabeled 2. So I think there's at least a leg there to stand on. And 3 to this day, I think, is one of the most successful Final Fantasy titles out there. I mean, I've heard... I think it was Gerard. Gerard wrote a paper on the intricacies of Final Fantasy VI. That is awesome to me. Trying to explain, you know, that video games can tell a story, and they can tell a very intricate one. And 6 is I'm sorry, I said 3 before. It is 6. 6 is no exception to this. It tells a very intricate story. And a loving story, as far as I'm concerned. So I'm actually thankful that we're moving to 6 right after, you know, numerically, because that is one of my favorite Final Fantasy games, and I think that's in essence where a lot of Final Fantasy fans, hardcore ones from the Nintendo days, kind of drop off because they were Nintendo fans, and I know a lot of them migrated over to the N64, and unfortunately, all the good stuff RPG-wise was on the PlayStation. Not knocking the N64, they eventually did get some good RPG stuff, I believe. I mean, Ocarina of Time can technically count as that, so you can't necessarily argue with that one, at least. Oh, what's that? A turtle? Are you gonna jump in the pond? Yeah, obviously, we gotta jump on the freaking turtle. What the heck? And that's going to go ahead and do it for this week. So when we get back next week, we will find ourselves deeper into Gil's Cave.